Creo que es más feliz desde que lo dejó con su ex. Ponemos una camiseta.
Everything about Amy felt smaller now, or at least that's how she described it. Her clothes fit differently. Her body felt unfamiliar in a way that surprised even her. Moments that once required effort now felt natural, and she joked openly about it, laughing at herself, acknowledging how far she had come. She spoke about learning from her mistakes, about finally growing up, about trying to become an adult in ways she hadn't managed before. There were flashes of humor, casual compliments exchanged, light teasing, the kind of everyday banter that masked deeper changes happening beneath the surface. 2 months had passed since Tammy and Amy's explosive argument, yet the tension hadn't faded. If anything, it had transformed into something quieter but heavier. The family group chat was still active, but the tone had shifted. Messages were sharp, sarcastic, laced with frustration. What once had been playful now felt volatile, with humor often giving way to irritation. The distance between the sisters wasn't loud anymore, but it was constant. Season 8 of 1000 LB Sisters was supposed to be a celebration. Amy's wedding. Tammy's new independence. Fresh beginnings. But behind the cameras, everything unraveled. Arguments, secrecy, emotional breakdowns, and decisions that would permanently alter the family dynamic unfolded quietly, away from what viewers were meant to see. This was not the season TLC initially planned, but it was the one that emerged. In the early hours of a cold Kentucky morning, before most of Bowling Green had fully woken up, production vans rolled slowly through narrow residential streets. Fog clung to the air as headlights cut through the silence. The return of the 1000 LB Sisters crew was familiar to locals, but this time something felt different. The energy was heavier, guarded. Neighbors later said it felt as though the town itself sensed that something had shifted. What was publicly framed as another chapter in the Slaton family's journey was in. What unfolded during the final days of filming was not simply tension or routine reality television drama. It was a collision of secrets, explosive confrontations, and moments so raw that network executives reportedly debated whether they could be aired at all. What began as what production called a celebratory wrap week quickly unraveled into a volatile storm of suspicion, jealousy, fear, and emotional breaking points. While viewers will ultimately see only a carefully edited, television-friendly version of these events, insiders described a far more chaotic and painful reality behind the scenes. According to multiple producers, the final 3 days of filming contained the most intense real-life conflict the series has ever captured. The situation escalated to such a degree that TLC brought in on-site security, mental health professionals, and, on 2 separate occasions, local authorities. What follows is the unfiltered account of those final days, the version viewers were never meant to know. The crisis began late at night, just hours before the final stretch of filming was set to begin. At exactly 2:38 a.m., Amy placed a frantic call to one of the show's producers. Crew members later confirmed that she was alone in her bathroom, still wearing wedding makeup from a post-ceremony photo shoot. Her voice was shaking. She was crying uncontrollably. She could barely complete a sentence. One crew member described it as a full emotional collapse. Amy repeatedly said she was terrified. Terrified of being married again. Terrified that Tammy was drifting away. Terrified that everything in her life was changing faster than she could emotionally process. For weeks, she had presented herself as joyful and excited about the wedding, but in that moment, the fear she had been suppressing finally surfaced. The producers stayed on the phone with her for nearly an hour, talking her through her breathing, grounding her emotionally, and eventually looping in the show's mental health us. Amy Slaton had always been the face of a story that captivated millions, a story of weight loss, struggle, motherhood, and a divorce that unfolded under the harsh scrutiny of reality television. But in 2025, everything she had built seemed to teeter on the edge of collapse as she made the difficult and heart-wrenching decision to withdraw from the filming of Season 8 of 1000 LB Sisters, a choice that sent shockwaves through the production crew, her family, and the fanbase that had followed. Her every triumph and setback, leaving a vacuum that no one seemed prepared to fill, especially not TLC, which, despite having invested years, millions of dollars, and extensive resources into planning a season that promised to be the most emotionally gripping yet, suddenly faced the harsh reality of canceled schedules, idle crews, unused locations, and contractual obligations that were now hanging by a fragile thread. And while executives scrambled to mitigate the fallout, offering medical support, therapy resources, logistical help, and even negotiating flexible filming arrangements that could accommodate her personal crises, Amy remained steadfast in her decision. Citing an inability to continue filming amidst ongoing legal issues, including an arrest for possession of controlled substances, the media frenzy that had erupted around the story, and the relentless pressure of motherhood and personal health struggles, and though the network had gone so far as to cover her legal fees and bail to prevent public scandal and ensure production continuity, the sense of personal danger and emotional exhaustion Amy described in private conversations with family and friends suggested that no amount of logistical accommodation could ease the burden she felt, leading to a standoff that would culminate in a $1 million lawsuit against her for breach of contract, with the claim detailing everything from prepaid production locations and accommodations to marketing campaigns, crew salaries, and according to multiple reports, the discussions between Amy Slaton and TLC behind the scenes included several possible compromises. These reportedly involved reduced filming hours, limitations on deeply personal content, and even potential financial adjustments to offset the penalty she was facing. Sources claim that Amy was not attempting to walk away irresponsibly, but rather seeking a way to continue while protecting her mental and physical health. However, insiders suggest that TLC executives were unwilling to make any major concessions, leading to an intense standoff that quickly escalated into a nationally discussed controversy. Amy's decision has since sparked a much larger conversation about autonomy and empowerment within the entertainment industry. Reality television often hides the personal costs paid by its stars, even while profiting from their vulnerability. While dramatic storytelling fuels viewership, Amy's refusal to continue under pressure has drawn attention to the importance of personal boundaries and the right to say no, even when doing so carries serious financial consequences and public criticism. Meanwhile, speculation continues to swirl around Tammy Slaton's future. Fans are closely watching her every move, debating whether she will remain with the show for season 8 or eventually follow Amy's lead and step away. The sisters' relationship has now become a focal point of public interest, with every social media post, interview, and appearance being dissected for hidden meaning. Observers note that the bond between Amy and Tammy, long central to the show's emotional core, is now under unprecedented scrutiny. Industry insiders suggest that Amy's situation could have far-reaching implications beyond 1,000-pound sisters. If Amy manages to negotiate a settlement or gains enough public support, it could embolden other reality TV stars to challenge restrictive contracts and establish firmer boundaries. Such a shift could force networks like TLC to wreck. Amanda Slaton had privately expressed similar concerns, noting that the family's narrative deserved closure and continuity, yet with the lawsuit active and the potential for legal repercussions hanging over every word they might speak, the family remained largely silent, their voices muted by the fear that any public statement could be scrutinized in court, and this enforced silence, according to sources close to the family, was beginning to generate tension within the household as differing opinions about loyalty, strategy, and the path forward clashed behind closed doors, creating a quiet but palpable strain among members who had long relied on each other for support and understanding, and beyond the walls of the family home. Public perception and media pressure had intensified to levels that few could have predicted, with TLC attempting to manage the narrative through selective statements, controlled releases, and carefully curated social media posts. Yet, despite the network's efforts, the response from fans, journalists, and industry commentators had grown intense, with headlines and trending topics dominating online spaces as theories, speculation, and criticism spread like wildfire. Phrases such as Amy Slaton arrested, 10,000 LB Sisters Season 8 cancelled, and TLC suing Amy Slaton became omnipresent in searches, forums, and social media conversations, generating a media storm that brought the intersection of celebrity legal issues, personal scandal, family drama, and corporate litigation into sharp focus, turning what might have been a private matter into a spectacle of public interest, a perfect storm that kept Amy and TLC in the spotlight for weeks on end. And within this maelstrom, Amy's legal team was reportedly preparing multiple lines of defense, strategies aimed not only at reducing potential financial damages, but also at establishing precedent in reality television contract disputes, particularly regarding the rights of talent facing personal or L. Amy Slaton, TLC ko mashhoor reality show 1000, LB Sisters ki ek AC shakhsiyat hain jinhan any apni zindagi ka har palabina jijhak danaya ka samni rakha. Chahiwo unka weight loss journey ho, apni biantami ka soth ups and downs, ya fur unki shawadi or ma ban ka safar fans any har lama unk soth messes kia. Amy ki honesty or vulnerability any unhain ek relatable reality star bonadia, like in 2025 main unki personal life any ek naya or harankuin modlalia, jis unk fans ko hila kar rakdia. Michael Halterman Essie divorce kabad, Amy emotionally coffee fragility. Is Doran unki zindagi main ek naya shaksaya, jisa fans any peli surf ek fresh start samja. March 2025 Ku Akir main Amy any Instagram par kuch tasvirian post ki jean main ek mystery man unk soth nazaraya, jiska chera emojis se chupaya gayatha. Shura main